Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Shout out to all the channel members and the new subscribers. My name's Dr. Danny. I'm a physician astrologer. I have for you today a special compilation for this coming week. It is three very important aspects that the sun is making with Pluto, Saturn and Neptune, and Uranus. All while we're having a new lunation starting on the 24th, while Mercury is in the middle of its retrograde, and all this chaos is going on around us. So I thought I would just put this together to remind you of these bigger aspects that are going on. I think mostly they're very supportive and helpful, but I wanted you to get the original reading on that from my larger deep dive into the sun and the planet cycles. So the first one I'll show you is the Sun Pluto opposition. I released this video a couple of weeks ago, but I'm just pulling out the part for the Sun Pluto opposition, and it will also give you information about natal Pluto and Sun in opposition. So you'll get a read about that. Then we will have the trine from Sun to Saturn and Neptune, which are conjunct in Pisces and retrograde. So I will talk about that trine, and we'll also talk about what that means in your natal chart. And then you'll get the clip from Sun to Uranus. So I've pulled out these three pieces for you to remind you of these big transits that are occurring right now as we go through all this other chaotic energy. And hopefully it will provide you with some guidance. So I will leave it here, let you enjoy these videos, and I will see you next week. We are now fully aware of where we are at, and its culmination begins on July 25th. We're rising toward that. This retrograde Pluto is on our side of the sun. It's very strong, it's very powerful, but it is retrograde. So it's internal work. The new moon is the day before. So it's the beginning of a new lunar cycle, a new solely lunar cycle. And it's this swelling opposition between Sun and Pluto. So this solar lunar cycle will be marked with transformative changes because of its influence by Pluto, this particular new moon that we're going to talk about when I get back from my trip for the members. So there's the opposition. This is coming. Let's see what we have in store for us. And we'll look back at the past to see what happened last year during this Pluto Sun opposition. So this is the full illumination point of the current Sun-Pluto cycle. This is like a full moon, okay? This is where we begin to harvest. We begin to reap what we have sown. So this is going to be this is a Cancer new moon in direct confrontation with the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So the ego has just whispered a new intention. That's the sun moon, right? The inner and the outer person has just said, this is a cycle of transformation. We're being challenged by the old scaffolding that's still holding its shape beneath the surface. Like, man, I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, the way we do school, the way we teach children absolutely has to change. Because literally, once they find chat and the internet, and plus it's going to get better and better every single year, they won't even need teachers. They're going to need people to teach them how to think rather than to regurgitate information to them. Because if they don't learn how to use these tools appropriately, then they're going to be like any tool. You know, if you hand a scalpel to a surgeon, they're going to save your life. If you hand a scalpel to a psycho, they're going to murder you. Okay. So, Pluto is changing these structures. It's changing how we teach children. It's changing how we receive healthcare. It's changing how we do government. It's changing everything. And I think that this cycle, especially this lunar cycle, is going to bring some of that to the surface for us. Okay. So what was unconscious now stands in the open. There's a lot of truths coming out in the current lunar cycle. And when we do our full moon video next week, we're going to go live next week. It will have already passed by the time this video goes live. But when we talk about that lunar cycle that starts in July, it's going to be around these themes. So interesting. All right, so don't fear what arises to challenge you. This is not the end of your new path. It is the first test of its reality. So you might ask yourself, do I want my kids in school anymore? Do they really need teachers? They just need to know how to learn, and the teachers don't even teach you how to learn, right? Life teaches you how to learn. So this is the part where we reflect about it, and we say, maybe there is a better way to educate my child. So ask where your power lies, not how to keep control. You cannot influence what the school is doing, only a small extent. And I don't know why I keep bringing up school, but it just seems to make sense. It's like the easiest example we can think of. You can go and be a PTA. You can go and be, someone on your city council. You can demonstrate on the streets, but there's an inevitable evolution of these structures. And so you will have to adapt. And this cycle may be about how do we adapt to these changes. Okay. So what you face now is a shadow, and you are ready to outgrow it. And school doesn't have to be your example. It can be a relationship. It could be the government. It could be your job, So a lot of things are going to come to head here, I think, during this opposition. Here is what it looks like in the chart. And let's look at the past. Let's look at what happened last summer during this Sun-Pluto opposition. Now the Sun was actually in Sagittarius at this point. So Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing assumed interim presidency amid escalating junta rule. This shift symbolized the consolidation of authority at high cost to democratic identity. Another thing that happened was global IT infrastructure collapsed following the CrowdStrike-induced Windows crash. Airport systems, emergency services, and banks were paralyzed, revealing the system's fragility. So Pluto's shadow surfaced suddenly and widely. And then President Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 election called into question the endurance of democratic institutions and the narrative of political identity. This one resonates with me. I'm like, we're not even doing politics anymore. It's just a freaking reality TV show. I mean, that's literally what it is. And it comes out in 4-year seasons. So, for I think a lot of us, these events happen to show us how fragile these systems we've set up are. And now we have to understand that they're all going to collapse at some point. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in the next 5 to 10 years, but they're going to. And we need to be flexible. We need to be nimble. We need to be creative and figure out how we can get around these things. Now, you may have been born with Sun opposed natal Pluto. So in a natal chart, this aspect speaks to a soul born into profound inner tension between personal expression and external control. These individuals often experience ongoing confrontations with power, authority, or inherited identity structures. When unconscious, they may swing between dominance and submission, fearing their own depth. When awakened, they become initiators of transformation in others. Their presence demands authenticity, and their journey is one of continually choosing inner truth over external validation. Now, every year, the Sun will oppose natal Pluto exactly 6 months after the Sun conjuncted your natal Pluto. So the Sun conjuncts my natal Pluto in October. So in March, the Sun opposes my natal Pluto. This is when you may feel exposed. Power dynamics surface. Your motives or those of others may be revealed. Use this as a mirror. Oh, yeah, I can think of a personal example. I'm not going to share it, but I can think of a personal example where this happened to me for sure. And now that I think back about it, I'm like, it was supposed to happen. It triggered me to move so that I could figure out what I wanted to do. Now, once in your life, you will have, or maybe not. Okay, so Pluto conjunct Sun and Pluto opposed Sun only happen once in the Pluto cycle. So you may have been born in a lifetime where Pluto will oppose your natal Sun. I'm one of those lucky people. I don't get to have a conjunction, but I get to have an opposition. So I think once Pluto gets to the end of Capricorn, so maybe like the 2037-ish, Pluto will be opposing my natal Sun. And so the core of my identity will be under transformation. Events will feel fated or outside of my control, but the deeper invitation is to step into alignment with my soul's purpose. And I'll be asked to surrender what no longer reflects my true nature. Right? This is 12 years from now? That makes perfect sense because it aligns with my Jupiter-Saturn cycle also. So, in 12 years from now, I'll have another career shift, another life shift. It'll be pretty cool, and I'm ready for it. Like I'm working with the astrology so that I can alchemize these transits to help me move into my highest purpose, to live my best life. All right, the trine. This is also in the near future. So Sun will be making a departing trine back to Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde. So between the square and the trine, Saturn went retrograde and then Neptune went retrograde. The date specifically, Neptune will go retrograde on July 4th, and Saturn will go retrograde on July 13th. I think that's the order. Yeah. So they went retrograde and now in a trine angle with Sun and in a new moon. This is actually the July new moon of Sun and Moon, and they're making a trine aspect back to now retrograde planets. And for me, retrograde planets are just more intense. So if the conjunction itself wasn't intense enough for you, now they're getting closer to planet Earth by the tune of 90 to 100 million miles. So that to me is significant if we're subscribing to that model. But a trine's really nice. So you've got really intense Saturn and Neptune energy in a trine with the sun and moon. Okay, so the inner and the outer self moving together through this phase of the cycle. And what's so interesting is a lot of these inflection points in this cycle are new moons. I think probably let's see this the next 3 or 4 of them are also new moons. Very interesting. So the sun will be in Cancer. So a new moon in Cancer in a trine with Saturn and Neptune. This is an emotional intelligence portal, right? It's heart memory, it's soul time, it's sun's light in the deep, watery energy of Cancer and Pisces. So emotional love, Saturn's discipline, Neptune's dissolution. This could be a current for healing, for setting a new intention, setting a new cycle. Whatever came to you in that square, whatever it was that you initiated to make this room, this could be a great opportunity for transmuting any grief around whatever it is that you had to get rid of, right? So there's an aspect to Pluto and Chiron that helps. Oh, I think it might be a grand trine. It may not be comfortable, but it is integration. And so it's a good time for healing, for allowing any grief responses to come up in a really safe and contained and controlled way. So whatever felt uncomfortable before will now find a rhythm. Whatever that square brought out for you, you're in this rhythm. You're going to let that grief response go. You're going to feel into this new rhythm, and the growth will begin here. So nurture your emotional body, right? Let your rituals become devotion to yourself. Whatever you feel during this time frame is ancient energies. You got to trust it and liberate it. Like let it out. That's what you're here. You're here to embody that divine spirit. And if you're called to this is a great way to do that. Oh yeah, there's a T-square here with so Chiron is creating a T-square as Moon and Sun are in opposition to Pluto. Yes, that's why this is going to feel that it's a trine, but it's not going to feel lovely. But it's a huge opportunity for healing. Because you have this trine energy between these two, and the trigger or the energy that's tough is transformational healing, powerful greatness. Okay, so yeah, I think that through the square back to Saturn and Neptune to this trine, this is going to be a grieving healing cycle because of a shift that we had to do. So I think end of July, early August, that's what we're going to be feeling into with this. Now, in terms of your natal chart, so Sun will also, just as with all the other Sun Saturn aspects, the emotional maturity shines. You gain insight into how your past shaped your strength. Quiet confidence anchors you, and you get 2 of these. So this would be your first or your separating trine, and the next one will happen a few months later. Within the year cycle. So every third of a year, you'll get the conjunction, the trine, and then the conjunction. So this is quiet confidence here. The sun will also do the same pattern with Neptune. And on this day, you can have a fertile imagination and a very strong intuitive flow. It's going to be a flow day for you. So it's a beautiful day for healing, for channeling, or tending to your dreams. So look where the sun is. Look at when it makes a trine aspect back to your Neptune. Now, Saturn in its 30-year cycle will also every, I don't know, maybe 9 to 10 years make make a trine to your sun. So conjunction, 9 to 10 years, trine, departing trine back to natal sun, and then in another 9 to 10 years, an approaching trine to your natal sun. So it can be a year of graceful discipline. You build from within and feel the alignment of soul and schedule. I love those two words together, soul and schedule. Now, Neptune, you might get one trine in your life. You might get two because they would be a third of Neptune's cycle, which would be about 55 years or so. So within an 80 to 90 year lifespan, you would definitely have a period of time that's 55 years trying to trine. You may be that's a wonderful lifespan around this particular aspect because your soul is whispering through subtle signs. You get the emotional truth just by being quiet. And this is a 3 to 4 year transit anytime Neptune is trying to or natal sun. Ooh, I may have had that not too long ago, actually. That might have been part of my soul's awakening as well. Now, if you have any interesting aspects in your chart, or if you have Saturn and Neptune conjunct in your chart, or in a connection, or perhaps this combination is conjunct or trine to your sun, then this is the restoration of a rhythm. This is the waters of Cancer and Pisces harmonizing through time and mysticism. Memory becomes medicine and light becomes the tide. So a lot of dreamy energy here with an element of timing and an element of structure to it, which is just so synchronous. After the Sun-Uranus conjunction, the powerful conjunction we had on May 17th, the next important aspect in the Sun-Uranus cycle occurs on July 23rd. So we'll see what this feels like. This is an opening. A sextile is a doorway, an opportunity, an opening to use the best part of both planets and also the worst part. But of course, we're going to use the best part. So when we look at what this energy feels like, we have Sun in Cancer, sextile to Uranus at 8 degrees of Taurus near the Pleiades. The Pleiades are at 7 degrees of Taurus always. And this opens a gentle portal for embodied awakening. Emotional intelligence merges with cosmic voltage, allowing intuitive insight to root deep within the body. This is a soft disruption that nourishes while it reconfigures. The Pleiadian current here reawakens starseed memory, especially through the senses and the skin. So let the evolution unfold through feeling and not through force. This is one of those energies where, with the Pluto opposition taking place, as well as the Sun making a trine back to Saturn and Uranus, this feels like an opportunity to have a very gentle aha moment through everything else that's going on. So trust what your body is telling you, even if it defies logic. Stay close to nature and give yourself space to receive the subtle shifts. Let new values arise from what feels true in your heart and not from old patterns of control. This is what the chart looks like that day. So you can see all these very supportive energies. You have, let me annotate this for you. You have Uranus here next to the Pleiades, and then you have Sun here. And the Sun is, this is the day before the new moon, is in this beautiful kite configuration with Black Moon Lilith, Pluto, and then Neptune, Saturn, that are both retrograde. This is one of the most supportive aspects that you can get in astrology. And so it's that opposition, that purging energy, while Uranus will allow the Sun to have that aha moment. Now, when you are working with these planets, you will notice in your chart that the Sun once a year will sextile your natal Uranus. So this will happen twice a year. It will happen on the waning sextile and the waxing sextile. When the transiting Sun sextiles your natal Uranus, it brings a window of clarity and fresh perspective. You may feel energized to break routine or express your individuality more freely, often through creative or intuitive inspiration. And what's so interesting about right now, at least for me, is that the Sun is actually sextiling my natal Uranus, but on the other side. So this is a waning sextile for me. Encounters and insights may arrive suddenly, offering new solutions to old patterns. It's an ideal time to say yes to what feels different but aligned. Now, twice in an 84-year time span, Uranus will sextile the natal sun. Since Uranus moves so much more slowly, this takes a very long time. Actually, this is the aspect that's happening to me. The current Uranus is sextiling my natal sun because the sun is conjunct natal sun right now. So when transiting Uranus sextiles your natal sun, a longer wave of change begins to move through your identity and your purpose. This is an awakening process that unfolds gradually, helping you to shed outdated roles and embrace a more authentic expression of the self. Opportunities may arise to explore new paths that feel exciting and liberating. And that's the key here with Uranus. It breaks you free. You become the expert in whatever it is you're doing, and then you can break the rules. Especially if they honor your individuality, you may feel a growing desire to live more freedom, with more freedom, truth, and creative autonomy. This is a supportive time to take courageous steps towards the future you once only imagined. So, the couple of years, the 3 years that Uranus is making that sextile back to your natal sun, this is a wonderful opportunity to really open yourself up, to free yourself from anything that's binding you.